I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Media News. The headlines. The PF vows to feast on government resources through court cases. Family of a 54-year-old male who allegedly died in police custody demand for justice. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Istana yafika yakubende chalo akamwana kanono nomsepela kwikala chapamo kulibe kumunzi kulibe mutauni kumatero.
The Zambia Statistics Agency will this year conduct the 2021 census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young and the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambia Statistics Agency.
And now the media news in detail. An undisclosed number of people have allegedly been swindled by the National Housing Empowerment Fund, a private entity in the real estate business. In an interview with Camnet News, one of the victims, Margaret Sakala, explains that she, along with others, bought plots from the company and were in June 2022 promised refunds after they discovered that the land was not owned by NHEF, but no payments have been done yet.
From the outside, this building located along Great East Road in Lusaka looks beautiful, but a walk inside tells a different story as the offices lay abandoned. This is the National Housing Empowerment Fund, a private company dealing in the selling of plots. This group gathered here, however, alleged that they were swindled by the said company as they were neither given plots nor their refund after making varying amounts of payment. One of the complainants, Margaret Sakala, has explained this to Camnet News.
So after paying, every month we're made to pay something because it was a 5 years payment agreement. So we're paying. Then in June, we just saw an advert to say there was like swindling, the company had scammed us. So we went to the offices and they gave us two options, either to claim for a refund or to be moved to another plots. So all of us here, we opted to have our refund back and we were made to come here to their head office. We completed the forms and we were told that the money will be refunded within 30 days and the 30 days has expired.
Here we didn't find any serious officer whom we can talk to. This is why the police also came and the two directors, I don't know if they are directors, they came to address us, but we are yet to wait from them. They said no, we'll give us time, we talk, after we talk, that's when we'll get back to you. I'm sure they are there, you can see them, they are there, or you talk to them. So we are waiting for that meeting to conclude so that they can transfer our money into our account, and we don't want any interest.
Takuli my responsibility. Tapali effort to sanga waisa kusanga one person. Now tell ask if you sanga mwawewa chitumine niwa manager phone atishkwete phone number. So number tatuishi befu tuwalaya niko tuwala vutukira. Because tabali tupera proper answer ya kwa tuwalaya hapa bala tuwifi. Tuwalaya hapa takuchi. Bonse na takuchi. The whole building it. Kwa chiwafe one person. Naona vutuka.
Meanwhile, Camnet News caught up with brother of the said director at the company, who still remains unknown by name to many of the clients. Brother of the said director, however, claimed not to have his brother's number, declining to comment.
Good afternoon. Wanted to hear you responsive about the issue. And why is that? Are you part of the commission? But are you able to share with us the number of the person who can assist us with the comment? Why not? Your brother's number, you don't have it. Okay, interesting.
A check into the building to access who else can be talked to found the entire building abandoned, with all the doors open and computers as well as documents sitting idle. A phone call made to another number said to belong to one of the managers, however, did not go through. Hence, the cry from the aggrieved complainants for relevant authorities to bring the said owners of the company to book. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The family of a 54-year-old man identified as Laydon Mwabe of Lusaka's violent compound, alleged to have died while in police custody at Woodlands Police Station in Lusaka, have demanded for a thorough investigation into the death of their family member. Lucky Mwabe, who Tuesday lodged a complaint at police headquarters in Lusaka, says the explanation given by the police that their relative died after being taken to the Chilenje Level 1 hospital before being transferred to the University Teaching Hospital does not correspond with the response they have been given.
A 54-year-old husband, father of 2, and grandfather of 3 identified as Laydon Mwabe Sunday, 21st August 2022, died in unclear circumstance. But what is clear is that Mr. Mwabe was arrested at Woodlands Police Station in the early hours of Saturday, 20th August 2022, where he was detained for the offense of theft. According to the nephew of the victim, Lucky Sichula, their relative was very fit on the day of his arrest, but were surprised to have been told that their relative had died in the early hours of Sunday. Mr. Sichula says, according to the police, the victim was taken to Chilenje Level 1 Hospital where he was attended to before being taken to the University Teaching Hospital where he died. He says when an inquiry was made at Chilenje Level 1 Hospital, the family was informed that the victim was brought in dead by the police.
And at the time of his detention, he was fit, very fit. However, we were informed that in the early hours of yesterday, Sunday, not yesterday, sorry, the other day, Sunday, he was taken ill to Chilenje and Chilenje Level 1 Hospital. And then from there, we are told that he was attended to.
Mr. Sichula adds that when the family inspected the body of their relative, it was discovered that his face was swollen, which leaves a lot of suspicion, also considering that the police informed them that their relative was attended to at Chilenje Level 1 Hospital, when in fact he was brought in dead.
We made various follow-ups as a family, and when we checked with Chilenje Level 1 Hospital, we were told that Chilenje received him as a BID. So he was never attended to by Chilenje Hospital. In this case, when we did the physical inspection of our relative, we discovered that his face was actually swollen. So for us, that creates a lot of suspicion.
But when contacted for a comment, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga told this reporter that the victim had an accident in the toilet cell where he was later rushed to Chilenje Level 1 Hospital and later UTH where he died.
He was given a television set to repair, which this person is alleged to have actually sold off. Then this person was detained in custody. Then whilst in the cells, it is alleged that he went to the toilet and then he suddenly fell down after coming from the toilet. So officers were informed about that development and they rushed him to Chilenje Level 1 Hospital, where he was attended to and then later referred to UTH.
Mr. Hamonga has since warned that it is too early to make a conclusion that the victim was killed by the police and has urged the family to wait for the post-mortem results. Will the case of Mr. Mwape end up like that of Mark Chongwa, a ZAF officer who was murdered while in police cells, or that of Adrian Banda, who was alleged to have been killed by police officers at Chilenje police station while in custody, and 2 victims were later implicated in the murder but later discharged by the court after being found innocent? And no person has so far been held accountable for the death of Mr. Banda. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kenneth Kalunga is saddened by continued reports of media harassment by either members of the public and political party cadres. Speaking during the launch of a notebook on laws and regulations affecting the freedom of expression and digital rights in Zambia by Mr. Zambia in Lusaka Tuesday, Mr. Kalunga says media is an important part of democracy and government is striving to ensure that their safety is promoted through the formulation of favorable policies.
The media is no doubt an essential part of democracy as it helps highlight issues, setting the right agenda, fostering accountability and transparency. But key players in the media space, the journalists, are faced with numerous challenges during the course of duty, such as media harassment and sometimes failure to understand the boundaries. In this regard, MISA Zambia chapter, under the Open Space Zambia project funded by USAID, has produced a handbook on laws and regulations affecting the freedom of expression and digital rights in Zambia. MISA Zambia National Director Austin Kayanda says the handbook highlights various laws on media freedoms, among them offences in respect of prohibiting publication and seditious intention. Mr. Kayanda says the safety of journalists is one of MISA's top priority, hence the need to provide an enabling environment that will allow them to freely operate.
We underline that the safety of journalists and their operation in a free and legal environment with 100% access to information is one of our top priorities as MISA Zambia. The media is an important ally in the national development and should therefore be provided with conducive and progressive environment which should support their work. Allow me also to call upon the policymakers to develop and introduce policies and laws that support free expression, media freedom, digital rights, and the repeal of laws that overstep or impede them.
And USAID Civil Society Specialist Charlene Bangwe hopes that the book will ensure safety for journalists.
It's a book that can be used by scholars, it can be used by even others who are not in Zambia. We can use the book to measure the country against other countries. How are we doing on these rights? Where are the areas of improvement? Where can we constantly improve? We cannot overstate the need to have a good policy and legal environment. We have good political will, but it's important that the laws also are aligned to the kind of will that we have. Because surveillance, attacks, arbitrary arrests and detentions have in the past caused the reporting of truth in Zambia. To safeguard freedom of expression, the protection of journalists and human rights defenders, and ending impunity for attacks against them must be a priority. The Handbook on Laws and Regulations Affecting Freedom of Expression, Media Freedom and Digital Rights in Zambia will help protect and promote free expression and other media freedoms.
Officially launching the book, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Information and Media, Kennedy Kalunga, says government has embarked on key policy and legal reforms aimed at enhancing the space for freedom of expression and freedom of the media.
Government will ensure your safety. The role of the journalists play in exposing corruption, holding power to account, and informing the electorate of the truth is absolutely central to a democracy and free society. Government is also working towards ensuring that the rights of journalists are not only recognized but strongly protected. This was my sad expression at the beginning. We are here to protect own journalist here. And please raise a flag wherever it's happening countrywide.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Opposition Patriotic Front National Disciplinary Committee Vice Chairperson Tutu Ngulube says it's time for the opposition members to tap into government's resources as they claim compensation from unlawful prosecutions. In an interview, Mr. Ngulube said the party is aware of a scheme to target OPF members and arrest them.
And you see, what we want to warn the government, and through their police and all these things, is that, look, there's always an appetite, there's always a court to deal with these matters. And this time around, we are not scared. We know all of us PF members are targets. They want us behind bars. But that is not how a country should be run. If you are innocent, you are innocent. If you are a victim, you are a victim. Me, I reported I've got a docket. Those people are claiming they were attacked, they have no dockets. But because they are telling the police to say, if they don't arrest me, then they will hunt me and kill me. Then the police are saying, we would need to arrest you to just satisfy the UPND members that we have actually arrested you. How? How can you have a country where cadres are controlling the police? So I'm suing them. The moment I appear on a call out, well and good, I'll go to the police. After that, me, I'll be going to the subordinate court, they'll be going to the high court. That's how we're going to do it, because we can't live as if we are foreigners. And the police want me to be telling them, now I'm going to see my children, oh, now I'm going to have breakfast. No, I'm a free citizen. I should walk and do business as usual, free. I should be able to come to court, I should be able to go to church. Why don't they want us to be free in our own country? So I'm just waiting. If there is a call out for me, they will give it to me and I will go. If they want to detain me, they will detain me. One day I'll come out and I will go to court. And that is what we are going to do. And this time around, it's time to make money. They sue you, they lock you up, they detain you, we'll go. The law is there. They detain you for 5 days, we calculate how much you're supposed to be compensated. And we get a lot of compensation because they're being careless in the way they actually handle human rights.
Well, that news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Media News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. The PF vows to feast on government resources through court cases. Family of a 54-year-old male who allegedly died in police custody demand for justice. Thank you for watching. I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Good afternoon.